Okay, guys, we are rocking and rolling here now. We are going to be continuing with another retailer side of things. We're going to be joined in a moment or two by the excellent Jack Hay from Myra Beauty. Now, Jay is the CEO and co-founder at Myra Beauty, which is the town square for the beauty community, enabling consumers to find the products and brands they're going to love. Now, I only heard about this brand as I was doing my prep for this, and I'm really intrigued to find out how they are doing so many very cool things and leveraging tech to create such a great experience for consumers. So I think right now we should bring Jay on. Hello, Jay. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. It is great to have you here. Let's get your slides up on screen too. And are you okay if I leave you to it?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's all yours, sir.
Alrighty. Well, hello everybody. Great to connect here. I'm excited to tell you today about what we're doing at Mira Beauty and a specific thesis we have, which is that data transparency and data-driven commerce is going to transform beauty shopping forever. So I want to start with a pretty interesting insight that we found a little while ago, which is that pre-COVID, only about 11% of beauty sales were conducted online, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. If you look at sort of comparable industries like fashion, other, sort of experiential things like toys and hobby that do 2 or 3 times that. And obviously, we've seen beauty and sort of personal care grow over the course of the pandemic. But when you see that there's this consumer who is digitally native and spends, a ton of time on YouTube and Instagram browsing for these products, and furthermore, the products themselves are very small and easy to ship. This is kind of conundrum for why it's the case that beauty has not traditionally really sold online. And the interesting thing is that for beauty specifically, it's this very experiential purchase. There's so much that goes into deciding whether a product is right for you or not. And that's really what has led to sort of this lag in beauty's adoption in online commerce. We see that historically, as people have gone about shopping for these products, we call it attack of the tabs, and it's kind of hilarious, but it's unfortunately the case that people will open up 30 different tabs and they'll go to YouTube in order to find videos of folks with their same skin tone trying on a color cosmetic product, or they will search for swatches in Google Images, or they will, go to read community reviews in order to figure out if somebody has their same skin type who's applied this product. Because at the end of the day, you are putting a chemical on your face more often than not, and you have a very sort of high barrier to understanding whether this product is right for you or not. And so, it is a very sort of manual and laborious process you have to go through in order to decide whether a product is right for you. You might say it's somewhat opaque as well because the information is not readily available. And our conviction is there's got to be a better way. And this is traditionally what has driven the low e-commerce conversion for beauty. My favorite quote that sort of exemplifies this is Emily Weiss, the founder and CEO of Glossier, said, "I think Amazon really solved buying, but it killed shopping in the process." And this is, I think very insightful because it points to the fact that Amazon is a very transactional marketplace where, there's one click buy, but it's like beige and yellow, and it's kind of more focused on the transactional element of beauty shopping. Whereas, the process of coming to the point where you're ready to buy a beauty product is really, it's an experience. You want to, be surrounded by inspiration. You want to feel aspirational, et cetera. And Amazon does not facilitate that, which is yet another reason why I think we don't really see beauty conversions happening online today. So we have a better way. We propose to bring the joy of shopping to the forefront without bringing the chore of buying. And I acknowledge there's a typo there, without the chore of buying, rather. And this is how we do it. Basically, we are a one-stop shop for beauty. You can search, you can find, you can compare, and you can shop all in a single website. We have all the brands and retailers in a single platform. It's highly personalized, so it speaks to you and your unique needs and preferences. And finally, it's transparent and democratized, or it represents the collective perspective of what people believe this product is actually good for. So you know that you're getting, really your beauty and less of the rest. Very tangibly, the way we go about doing this and sort of bringing transparency to the forefront for consumers is a 3-step process where we leverage artificial intelligence to go out and collect massive amounts of data that describe beauty products. Then we distill that down to the insights that are actually valuable in order to decide whether a product is right for you or not. And so, for example, that might be extracting a skin tone from a video and surfacing that to the right customer. And then finally, we deliver this in a hyper-personalized form factor. So as you go about beauty shopping, you can actually see things that are relevant to your needs and interests and sort of filter out that 95% of stuff that doesn't really appeal to you or is irrelevant to your interests. So, a little bit more tangibly, getting into the dirty details here. In terms of aesthetic fit, this is something that, a lot of people care about specifically for color cosmetics. Well, as we mentioned earlier, traditionally, what you would do is you might go to YouTube and you would search for a video of somebody using a specific eyeshadow palette, maybe with your eye shape, maybe with your skin tone. Well, fortunately, using artificial intelligence, we can now take a video like this, and we can map that to the sort of content contained within that video. So we can say, oh, this video, contains inglot. It talks about eyeshadow, and it contains, green eyeshadow or something along those lines. And with that, that allows us to do very intelligent content filtering on a personalized basis. And so as a user is looking at a product on our product pages, for instance, we can say, hey, we'd like to go ahead and filter for you and only show you folks who you personally identify with on the skin tone spectrum. And so you can sort of much more easily get to the point where you have conviction around this being a good match for your complexion. And the same sort of concept of distilling the insight that matters for you applies to textual content. So, traditionally you might go to a Sephora or an Ulta or something like a Makeup Alley, and you'd read through 30 reviews and sort of manually pick out what people seem to be saying. And, does this woman have my skin tone? Does she think it's valuable, et cetera? Well, fortunately, in 2021, artificial intelligence is capable of taking text like this and extracting the content. So we can say, oh, this woman believes that the product is smooth and it blends well and it has good value, et cetera. And this means when we do this across millions of reviews gathered from across the web on the mirrorbeauty.com platform, what we're able to do is provide an intelligent review summarization right up front. So you can see people believe this product is very lightweight. Here are the specific reviews from these platforms that describe why. And so you don't really have to guess and check or go through that very manual process. It's immediately transparent to you what the community has elected this product to be good for. And this allows us to do all kinds of things when we have all this data in a single place that provides benefit to the consumer, including best-in-class reviews filtering. We can show intelligent product comparisons, so side by side, which product is better for which benefits. And even beyond that, things like showing ingredients information or swatches from different beauty blogs across the web that specifically have your skin tone, or even a price comparison module where we can say, hey, this is actually the best price we're going to get on the web. Here are the other alternatives. So when we see this at scale, what putting all this data in a single place and really doing the work of personalizing it gives us is higher conversion and incredible distribution, because this information is incredible for SEO. And then finally, consumers actually have the ability to diligence a product up front because it's so transparent. And so we see higher customer satisfaction and a very low return rate, which is incredible. So now that's sort of talking about the benefits of transparency for a consumer, but we also want to take the time to talk about how transparency is a massive benefit for beauty brands and actually powering their own distribution, customer awareness, et cetera. So if you look at brand building in 2021, we see that the space of beauty brands is really fragmenting. You have all these new direct-to-consumer brands that are popping up that are increasingly niche, and they service specific sets of consumers that maybe have been overlooked previously by the sort of large conglomerates. And simultaneously, we have consumers increasingly demanding that their own sort of idiosyncratic needs are directly serviced by brands. And my favorite example of this is, it's kind of crazy, but prior to 2017, there wasn't really a mass-produced foundation line that really serviced all the different skin tones. Excuse me. And then Fenty Beauty came along and really changed the entire industry by saying, hey, folks, we're going to do 44, and there's a place for everybody in this industry. But beyond that, we see that as the sort of space saturates and there's so many different brands that are coming out, marketing has really become saturated, and it's very difficult to drive an efficient CAC online. And then finally, the thing I would point to that is a major pain point here is that it is very difficult if you move beauty products through Amazon or one of the traditional retailers to understand what's actually going on in the consumer's head, because traditional retail really provides no information. And as we know, coming from the world of artificial intelligence, if you don't have good information, it's really hard to make good decisions. And so this question comes up of how can a brand make good decisions? How can they reach and own their audience? And how can they reach the right set of customers? And we believe that data transparency is the key here. So what we envision is data transparent retail, or building beauty's digital town square, where you have consumers and brands all come to the same space. They transparently share information back and forth. And this creates a very efficient economy in which the right customer is routed to the right brand very efficiently. Now, a couple examples of how we enable this on mirrorbeauty.com. Well, first off, I'd like to talk about beauty sampling and how this is an incredibly inefficient thing that has been going on in the industry for a long time due to data opacity. So it's, today, beauty sampling, I'm sure many brands who are listening in today have tried this before. It's incredibly opaque. It's very inefficient. And the way I like to think of it is it works like a billboard today, where if you have a billboard, you don't know who's seeing it. You're not able to really target specific types of people to see it. You don't know what they do after they see it. It's a very sort of difficult thing to consider as performance marketing, and it much better fits sort of under the umbrella of awareness building and brand marketing. That shouldn't be the case. And I think most people in the industry share the conviction, despite having never measured this before, that samples actually drive very high conversion rates, and furthermore, sort of enable you to capture the right set of customers when they're distributed in an intelligent manner. So, we see that product samples are very expensive. Beauty buyers are idiosyncratic. However, the folks who end up receiving samples today through, many campaigns like Ipsy or at Sephora checkout or whatever, actually fall outside of the sort of set of people that a brand would want that sample to be delivered to. And that ends up delivering sort of a higher CAC or a lower conversion rate. And similarly, brands really receive nothing back when they distribute samples today. And this is kind of crazy to me as somebody who lives and breathes analytics, is that if you distribute samples today through Ipsy or Birchbox or Sephora, you give them stuff to hand out at the end of checkout, you really don't get any information back on who those consumers are who received that product or what they did after the fact. And so, the natural question arises is, how can you evaluate and optimize a campaign that's this expensive if you don't actually receive any information on what the conversion rate is on these samples, et cetera? So we've built a better mousetrap, essentially. We do intelligent product sampling at Mira Beauty. This is where we leverage behavioral data of our customers, as well as product insights to match the correct consumer to the right sample, and then provide transparency end to end. And so brands can actually see who the people are who have received their product sample on mirabeauty.com. Other aggregated information, such as what types of products they're shopping for, what they do after they receive the sample, what the full size conversion rate is, et cetera. And then finally, we also provide the ability for brands to retarget the people who have received their samples, which is really the first time this has ever been done in industry, where you can actually reach out to somebody on Instagram and say, hey, you received my sample. I would like to offer you a discount on the full size product, and actually see what the conversion rate is on that. And obviously it plummets when somebody has had a physical sort of in-person experience with your product. So in this scenario, there's this really beautiful sort of alignment that emerges between us, our customers, and our brand partners, where customers get free personalized samples of products that they actually want to try and are interested in engaging with in the future. And furthermore, brands get the first ever real-time dashboard describing the people who've actually received their samples and the ability to actually reach out to those customers, and sort of we facilitate this customer introduction, if you will, where they can then convert them to high LTV consumers over time. And so the sort of value or alignment chain is customers get free stuff, which they love, and personalized products. We get satisfied and retentive customers, and this amazing thing to offer to people on our website, which is come to Mira Beauty, explore new up and coming brands. And finally, beauty brands get better targeting, better analytics, and the opportunity to build their CRM, which is really significant. So now I want to talk about sort of blowing this up and saying, instead of just talking about sort of samples and turning that into efficient and transparent performance marketing, we think there are a ton of opportunities to work with brands as well in order to create transparent and observable partner marketing more broadly, reaching into sort of performance, Instagram marketing, Facebook marketing, et cetera. So, interestingly today, when you see a brand running marketing to support their retail sales, and this is something many people do, you'll see a customer will view an Instagram ad. NARS, for instance, would support that ad, and that would redirect to a traditional retailer like Sephora.com. However, there's a lot of inefficiencies baked in here. One, for example, is that Sephora will not allow NARS to actually access the Facebook pixel on their website, which means that as NARS runs this ad, the ad is only capable of optimizing for cost per click, or the number of people who go to Sephora.com, and not the actual final conversion. And obviously, the people who are clicking an ad just to see the product are going to be very different than the set of people who are most likely to actually purchase that product. So this is one massive source of inefficiency. But furthermore, NARS doesn't actually know the conversion rate on their ad, so what percentage of people end up actually buying the product. And there's all this other information contained in that consumer's behavior that would be useful to them, including if they do convert, what's their email address? If they do convert, what other products were in their cart? What other things are they shopping for, et cetera? And this would all be very useful as NARS looks to expand its product line or figure out how to speak to its consumers, et cetera. So now our innovation here is just like everything else, we prioritize transparency. We say to brands, hey, if you run ads redirecting to support your sales on mirabeauty.com, we're willing to share all of that information with you, obviously in a privacy protecting manner. So instead of just saying, optimize for cost per click and send us traffic, we say, we will actually tell you what somebody does once they reach our website from one of your ads. And furthermore, we will share information such as the conversion rate, customer insights on what other things your customers are shopping for, and even give you the ability to retarget the people who are most likely to actually end up converting. And so that's the ability to reach out and say, hey, we noticed this product was in your cart on mirabeauty.com. Why don't you come back and actually complete that transaction? And so what we see is yet again here, this creates a beautiful alignment between us, our customers, and our brand partners, where our brand partners get a better CAC and conversion rate with us because their ads are better equipped to optimize for actually converting people. as well as they get to leverage our website, which is, has all the best practices built in. They receive these rich customer metrics, which they've never really received before, have the opportunity to build their CRM. And finally, we offer significantly better margins as a drop shipping model compared to traditional retail. And finally, for us, I mean, what we get out of this is we receive customers coming to our website. We have the opportunity to, increase the GMV and the amount of sort of content and dollars flowing through our platform. And we have the opportunity to really sort of build ourselves as a brand that consumers and brands alike will recognize. So at the end of the day, we are Mira Beauty. We offer the collective perspective and data transparent retail to both brands and consumers alike. And we are looking to bring as many people on board as possible who are, would like to join us in this mission of democratizing beauty retail for the future. Cool. So that's a quick lightning round of what we're up to. And I'll go ahead and pause there. And I'm sure there may be some questions, or if anybody wants to pop in and double click on something, let us know.
Jay, that's kind of got my mind just going, whoa.
It's a lot. I apologize for the speed. I know we're on a tight schedule here.
Yeah, but you're achieving a huge amount, and I love that you're focused both on making the journey so much better for the consumer, and also making the journey so much better for the brand as well. The way you brought those two things together, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of Mira Beauty in the near future. So congrats. Could you just remind people how to get in touch with you if they're interested?
Sure. Best way to get in touch is either email me at j@mirabeauty.com as displayed on the deck, or alternatively go to our website, mirabeauty.com, and there's a little form you can go to where you can submit any type of question or request, what have you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jay. It's been a pleasure learning more about you. Will we check? Oh, hold on. We've got comments today. No, I was just wondering if we had some questions from the audience, but no, it's us telling them how to email you, which is far more important than questions at this point in time. So,
Awesome.
Jay, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure learning more about Mira Beauty.
Thank you. Have a good one.